What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action, I almost forgot it right there. Spawning on the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Ragnarox. Now, this is spelled incorrectly, and it has confused everyone for the eternity of Age of Mythology history. And he should be punished for spelling it like this, because I get confused enough as it is. Not only did Ragnarox spell it wrong, but I've recently been coding, and Ensemble Studios in the code also spelt it wrong. You just can't win. You just cannot win. His partners today in the blue color, sporting as Uranus, his name is Serpent France, also known as Snake. I believe his final teammate in the sky blue, teal, light blue color, playing as Loki, his name is Mechanics. Their opponents today breaking the team game rules. The law was brought down from above, and it said, "Thou shalt not play the same god as a teammate in a team game." And we have 3 rule breakers. They are all going to Age of Mythology hell. They're going to have to enjoy it down there. Socrates in the green color playing as Ra. Illuminati in the purple color playing as Ra. And in the yellow color playing as Ra as well. His name is Guizin. Now, if I said that wrong, I don't care. That's how we're going to be saying it. Now, the map is Ghost Lake. One thing I would recommend for Ra players in this situation is you've got 3 minutes of rain. So Ra farming as fast as you possibly can with plow, and it's going to be really, really useful. The only problem is that you probably don't want to go for a second town center here. So, if I was to be a Ra player in this situation, I would tell all my Ra brethren to say, guys, we're all going one town center. We're all going to be doing something to do with spamming food units. So, you either have to spam Sphinx, you have to spam Spearman, you have to spam Elephant or Camelry or Trade or Scarab or Avenger. Those are your options. Otherwise, you just end up with a billion food, literally a billion. I'm not making it up here. And there's not much else to do with it. And only one player can really sell their food for gold, which is also a thing you can do as well. If you say one player sells their food for gold. There's a lot of abuse you can really do with playing the same god on a team. So we'll see if these players are going to attempt to do some of that abuse, or if they're going to not attempt to do some of that abuse, and we'll see how it's all going to go. Meanwhile, the other team, much more interesting team composition, much more well-rounded. We've got Loki, we've got Uranus, we've got Zeus. I really, really like this composition. The only thing that it's missing is a Gaia and a Forest Fire user. Odin is probably the better of the two, but a Gaia and a Forest Fire user, which is obviously the best 2 gods in team game. If you don't have those 2 gods on your team, you're letting yourself down in terms of the S tier of S tiers. You've got the S tier compositions, and you have the S plus tier compositions, and they revolve around undefensible cheese. I'm kidding to some degree. Gaia and Odin, Gaia and Thor, very, very strong. Very, very strong composition to run. But we don't see it very often because players, they don't like cheesing all too much. They much rather run these speedy comps, which are also very, very good. Speedy comps. So the Zeus player has got hoplites, which has got 4.7 speed, pretty fast for an infantry unit that takes down buildings. The Uranus player has got 4.7 speed, 4.9 speed, 4.9 something speed, Mermillo. And obviously the Loki player is going to have those Hall of Fames. Herso. Now the problem is there's 3 Ra players here. Who's going to die first? That's the question. You can't really boom here. And we'll see if they choose to boom, but I'm not sure you can boom here. As we do see military barracks, counter barracks coming down for Serpent, so no second town center. Meanwhile, over here for Ragnaroks, we do see Athena, and it looks to me like there's going to be a second town center. Now, this doesn't mean that Socrates, oh, sorry, why did I say Socrates? That Ragnarok is necessarily booming, but he will be getting himself a second town center. You can go 2 town center into Hoplite. Does work, does kind of meet up with the composition that comes from an Uranus player and a Loki player going for Hersa and units and things like that. Meanwhile, what have we got over here from Mr. Mechanics? He's moving forward. We see the shockwave coming in as these villagers, where are they going? Running around the middle of nowhere here as Guizin is he's a little bit lost here, ladies and gentlemen. Not exactly sure. He doesn't actually end up losing a single villager there. So that's a really, really big misplay there from Mechanics, as I'm sure he should have been able to get a villager with a shockwave there, but unfortunately not there. We do see the Promethean Offspring coming in as the Promethean Offspring retreat away. Now, here's the thing. If you are a rule breaker, and you know how I was saying the S tier compositions are this god and this god? It's actually not true. The actual best compositions are compositions which feature 2 of the same god, because they synergize the best together. That's kind of the problem with it. Things like utilizing double bolt, triple bolt on whatever you want to use it on, or like triple forest fire. Imagine triple forest fire here, boom, 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 and then your opponent's got no wood left. I mean, this tree's here, but you can raid it and it's fine. Like those kind of, like there's lots of like abusive things you can do with triple god compositions, triple target, triple shockwave, etc., etc., etc. Lots of annoyance. Anyways, Mechanics does get his villager, his shifting sands onto his Herser, and this can happen over and over and over again. I said that one too many times, over and over again, because you have yourself access to free shifting sands, which is going to make life really, really tough here for Mechanics, because his Herser are expensive and they feel pain. But this tower, not defended. Illuminati making a significant mistake here in this game with that, and we'll see if Mechanics can get out of this wall here or not, as looks like Snake and Mechanics going to be pushing through here best as they can to break through, as farms coming up in the main base, farms on the back here. It looks like Guizin is going for 1 town center, which I did say was probably the right call. A little bit late on the armory, a little bit late on the farms, a little bit late on the everything here. But yeah, 2 town centers just doesn't make a whole lot of sense with the extra boosted economy. There's another thing, is that in a team game, Camel Caravan, trade route, even more strong than normal. So you can actually, instead of getting the towns, you just get yourself a market. It's better. You get much, much more gold income out of a Camel Caravan than you do out of a villager. Anyways, moving along, we're seeing Ragnarok's making the long walls over here. He still has not placed himself down the military academy, but he has got on to the first farm. Great sneaky play here. Rain, for those of you who do not know, gives all other players an extra 100% bonus gather rate on the farms, which is huge. So I'm not sure what Ragnaroks is doing here. It looks like he hasn't gotten himself any military barracks down, but he will be able to spam those hoplites out very, very soon. He probably could have got away with only making like, I don't know, 12 farms and then making military barracks after this and just going with those hoplites. But we'll see how things are going to go. As Serpent checking up here, we do see some Hersa coming in. Oh, sneaky little farm snipage here. As classic Mechanics here, this is what high level players do. They're going to send their free myth unit spawn in and they're going to start tanking there. But we do see that Illuminati also stepping into his own here. Going to start dealing with that one there, as Ragnaroks is now starting to tribute resources over to Mechanics. And let's be real here. The best thing you can do with your resources, and so long as you're building villages, this is the case. So long as you're building military, this is the case. The best thing you can do is send your excess resources over to a Loki player. Why? Because Loki players' heroic age is worth more, Loki players' mythic age is worth more, and everything is good here. So I love this from Ragnaroks. And in fact, I would have preferred to see Ragnaroks actually tribute more to Mechanics here. So that Mechanics can go to the Heroic Age first here. That would have made a lot more sense. As the Hearthstone pulling back. Lots of gold down the drain here for Illuminati. He does have himself Shadoof, 47 gold, but was that 1, 2, 3, 4 farms? That's 200 gold down for, I think, an Einhjar, basically. Just an Einhjar. So a decent trade, but lots of idle villages caused as well. There's now the villagers coming over onto this position as Mechanics here. The other thing is, and this is another very, very important thing, Uranus has the worst god powers in the game compared to other civilizations, with the exception of like Shockwave, or the worst Heroic Age god powers, the worst Mythic Age god powers, basically the worst immediate effect. Whereas Norse has the best effect, and what that basically means is the excess economy that Atlantean gets. It's extreme. You get a lot of excess economy with Atlantean. You get the best economy in the game as Atlantean. You can give that over the excess, not your military, not your economy, the excess that you would be using to go to the Heroic Age. You give that to the Norse player, send them to the Heroic Age earlier, send them to the Mythic Age earlier, and you're in a much, 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 much better position than if you yourself as the Atlantean player goes to the Mythic Age first. And then after that, you can get the Norse player to give you resources back if you really want to. Anyways. We'll see how things go. As we do have Serpent searching around here. What's Ragnarok's doing here? He is going Hephaestus, so he's just basically gone for a 2-town center fast mythic off of these farms. Very, very interesting here. One thing I wouldn't mind seeing after this reign is finished, he started his trade route, is basically put a ton of villagers onto the favor and just start making Colossus. You can actually, against Egyptian, I would suggest that, especially against Ra, who aren't in the, if you're going for a timing, Ra, who aren't in the through Osiris just yet, you can just go mass Colossus and tear through them. It's really, really strong. Especially when you go for a fast mythic and things like that. If we take a look over here at Socrates, he's not Mythic Age just yet. He's probably going for the Mythic Age fairly soon. Illuminati, he's not Mythic Age just yet. Oh, never mind, he's already Osiris. I told a lie. It's all over for me. Don't just build the hill fort and make Heliopolis. It's fine. As the town center goes down, and we do see Guizen taking a look inside the base of Mechanics, as Mechanics is nowhere near. He's nowhere to be found. It looks like Serpent, Snake here has to defend Mechanics, and Mechanics is just like, yeah, I don't need a town center. Who needs a town center? Not me. I don't need a town center. Mechanics don't need a town center. As we do see the Plenty Vault is down, more units coming up. Guizen going to be dropping down the Locust onto Mechanics' Dwarves here. 1, 2, 3 villages down. The Bolt comes down onto the Patsukos. More Dwarves getting taken out as they kind of fall into the Locust there. Another Dwarf going down. This Locust has done so much damage to Mechanics as Mechanics is now on 0 town centers as Guizen is just pushing through. Remember, who went 1 town center initially? Guizen did, and he's doing the best on the Ra team. By far here. Very, very smart. As we see cheeky little shifting sands over onto this position, try to take even more of Mechanics' dwarves out. Funnily enough, I think a shifting sands back onto this position here to defend the town center would have been the better call here from Guizen, because he would have been able to take out some Herser and also defend his town center from going down and all of those villages that might be falling here as flaming weapons getting dropped here by Mechanics as the villagers retreating away or attempting to. He's going to be losing so many of them. Meanwhile, Illuminati coming over with his meeting Axeman a little bit late here as he hasn't quite started that, and the Son of Osiris is completely caught out. What is Illuminati doing here with that Son of Osiris? He's going to get absolutely massacred in this fight. If Mechanics can just get around onto it. We do see one troll coming in here. The flaming weapons of those Hearse does so much damage here as the unit's going to be retreating away. Meanwhile, on this position, we're still seeing the town center getting taken out, but Snape defending nicely. The Son of Osiris getting pulled back. We do have a mummy here that can speed walk those units away, and somehow, some way, after that early miscontrol there, the Son of Osiris has managed to get back to somewhat safety, down to 188 HP here. As the town center on the back getting demolished yet again here as Ragnarox drops in with the underworld passage. However, this does mean that Socrates has got full reign over Ragnarox here. We'll see what his plan is going to be. He could tornado this underworld passage if he's going for it. Probably not an awful idea to go through Horus here. As the army pushing in, Illuminati getting himself fortified town centers. Masons coming through as well. We'll see if that's going to be able to come up in time as Guizan does go through Horus here himself. Again, not a bad idea to just tornado this one as Ragnarox does utilize his restoration. One Son of Osiris is over here to defend this. Meanwhile, yep, the tornado onto the underworld passage. Exactly what he needed to do. Town center might actually also go down here. It's going to be close. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure. And it doesn't quite go down as the Locust coming up onto this position. So many dead villagers here. Ragnarok's in a lot of pain as the cavalry coming in to cause some pain here. The Bellerophon already in defense there, though, as Ragnarok's is, I mean, he's not going to be too concerned. He's got a lot of economy already going. As the town center goes down, the army going to get cleaned up. Socrates defense here. Illuminati going to be living another day. As it does look like Mechanics here, he's still, what is he doing? Mechanics has got nothing left. Mechanics has got 8 villagers on food, 4 villagers on gold, 79 population, and that's it. He's going to have to work this one out. I'm not sure exactly what he can do, especially with Ragnarok's economy in pain. Snake's economy is nice and strong here. He hasn't really lost all too many citizens here thus far in this game, but he's been under the pump a little bit here, as he definitely needs to be tributing resources over to Mechanics to help him out. Meanwhile, Mechanics needs to be getting a town center, which he is doing over on this position. The villagers do spot that one as they're going to come over here, shank this down. There is a Helios on the way. That's going to be really, really strong. Illuminati can get his back town center up again once he gets the resources back up. Doesn't quite have the food for it just yet, as he's trying to be aggressive on the front here with the Axeman. As Guizan coming on the back. The battle ball is going to be taking out more villagers. I love this play here. Mechanics is so good with these Herso. Every little bit of damage here matters with those Herso, while not taking damage is the key point there. Because if he doesn't take damage, he just basically gets more favor, which means he gets more Myth Unit kills. But losing Herso is the worst for him at the moment. As Ragnarok's here. He's on 2 town centers. He's got plenty of oil. He's got a big economy. Socrates, he's also got a decent economy here, but he's got nothing on the front for the time being, and he has to defend against Heliopolis. Heliopoli rolling in here to take the town centers out. As more Heliopoli going to be getting taken down here. Do we see any sort of vortex? There's that vortex coming in to take out Guizan's home town center. There is a mummy in place here for Illuminati, but look at that micro from Snake. Good awareness to stay away from that one, as the Hero Mamilla going to be moving forward. Illuminati actually not paying attention here. Does pull that mummy back, but too little too late. Will be going down. Town center goes down. Guizan now down to 0 town centers. In classic team game chaos, everyone is 0 town centers. You get 0 town centers. You get 0 town centers. Everyone gets 0 town centers. As the town center coming back up here for Illuminati, but that one's going to get put stopped to here from Snake as he's going to be coming in there. What is Mechanics doing is the big question. I don't see any town centers coming up. So Snake's getting town centers over here. It's not the worst idea to just get all the town centers, but definitely Ragnarok should be sending some villagers over here to potentially grab this one or grab this one. He's also pushing on the front, so he probably doesn't have the resources. He doesn't have the resources at all. Mechanics on the other hand, lots of wood in the bank, but basically just a handful of battle ball at this point, as Serpent going to be sending some food over. He needs to get gold in. I think generally speaking, you probably shouldn't start tributing Mechanics just yet. Wait until you got the trade route going, and then you can start thinking about those tributing resources, because you just get so much more economy from the trade. As some more Hersa do immediately come out here, as Illuminati going to attempt to build this one up as best as he can. As Ragnarok's up here, what's happening over here? Not a lot, as the battle ball will get taken out there. And Ragnarox is going to be able to push forward ever so slightly. We do see Ragnarox going for some Garrison tricks. So heavy chariots moving forward. Vortex yet again coming in here for Serpent FR. He'll be trying to take out Guizen's forward base as he is in a lot of trouble here. He's sitting at 115 population. He's basically full trade. He's got a lot. Oh, he's got all of his chariot archers over on this position, checking out the side builders. Mechanics is trying to make that set up, but they might get put a stop to it. But while that's going on, Snake is on the warpath to take out Guizen's town center on the front here. As this town center still hasn't come back up just yet for Mechanics. He doesn't really have a whole lot of good ideas where that's concerned to get himself a town center back. But he doesn't necessarily need to. He just needs to keep getting resources tributed to him, and he should be completely fine. As Hesperus Tree does come down somewhere on the map. And the town center coming up now for Snake as he takes the forward town center, and he's going to march straight in to the main base of Guizen, as there's still nothing there to defend that one. Meanwhile, on this position, Socrates has to figure out how he's going to deal with this army. Now, the thing is, with Axemen are obviously really, really good at dealing against infantry, but they're awful against dealing with Heliopolis. Generally speaking, I think that the best answer for Egyptian against Zeus, and not just Zeus, but Greek in general, has to be sending spearmen into the meat grinder to take out those Heliopolis and utilizing your chariots to target down the hoplites. You can't really afford to build Axemen unless the Myrmidon are being built. I feel like that's got to be the way to play it for the Egyptian. Meanwhile, we see Mechanics. He has managed to set up on this position, getting some long houses down, doing nice things over there. Town center up here. There's still this town center on the back here for Team Ragnarok's Serpent and Mechanics to pick up, but 3 and 5 is 8. You need one more for 9. There's still no significant advantage town center-wise either way. Both teams look like they're on that 8 town centers here, so they're both in complete scramble mode, so to speak. As the Axemen retreating back. And the Raz on full defensive mode yet again, as Illuminati moving up onto this position, going to attempt to deal with this. There is a very, very low HP watchtower here at 2 HP. We'll see if he's going to notice that that's 2 HP or what. That's 2 shots from a chariot archer, or maybe 1 shot from a chariot archer. I'm not exactly sure. As the Axemen chase Mechanics Herser away there. And now Snake grabbing the forward town center. Still no attempts from Mechanics to get a town center here. Just who needs one? Son of Osiris still alive here. Illuminati causing some problems. And Socrates is just getting pushed back and back and back, and there just seems to be nothing he can do to defend against this. And I mean, I don't want to make this into too much of a balanced discussion, but this is kind of what's happened to Egyptian to some degree, is that their late game sometimes in certain situations can feel super, super underwhelming. So we'll see if Socrates can kind of work it out and defend against what Ragnarox is doing here, or if he's going to continue to get pushed back and end up folding once he loses this town center. Obviously, in a team game, you do get this bonus of having a ton of extra gold coming through on those camel caravans, but this is not a good market setup at all here. As the Serpent units trying to take down a town, and it's really, really important to be targeting down Pharaoh, targeting down priests and everything else in here. There's the Avenger pushing in, pushing everyone back. But yeah, you really can't take a town center down if a Pharaoh's around, because he gives us 75%. Where is it? 75% build rate increase, which is also inclusive of repair rate. So effectively, you're moving a villager that builds whatever it is, it doesn't say there, but let's just say it's 1.0. It moves it up to 1.75, which is almost double the repair rate, which is absolutely huge. And what normally happens is every villager that you add past 1, well, the second villager goes down to 0.3, I believe. So everyone goes down to 0.3. Basically means that if you increase everyone's 0.3 up 25%, up 75%, that's a really, really big buff overall, as opposed to everyone else who's going to be struggling with their repair rate, so to speak. I'm not sure if I explained that right or if I explained that 100% accurately, but it's something to do with that, which is why that Pharaoh is so very, very important to snipe down when you're going after things. As we see Serpent pushing back in yet again. Lots of those Arcus. The armory upgrades not really the best here for Serpent just yet. Definitely needs to be getting those out, as the hero Arcus is going to be trying to take out the mummy. That Son of Osiris there, 188 HP. Still keeping that one alive nicely from Killuminati. He's kind of learned his lesson thus far, as Ragnarok's still trying to break through. There's lots of opportunity here for pressure onto this opening and pressure onto this opening for both teams here. Especially the Ra team, in all honesty. I think there's one thing that Ra players don't do well enough, and that is villages inside of rocks. In the late game, or not even in the late game, but just in the game in general. Villages inside of rocks, flying across the map, dropping into places like dropping into this corner over here, coming around the very corner of the map, coming into the corner, dropping here, potentially dropping over here or over here to push with a priest or something to throw up a building really, really fast, put some pressure on here, walls, all the other good stuff. It's one of those things that like Norse can do because they've got infantry, like very, very fast Ulfsar can sneak through and get those side builds, but because you got that rock, Egyptian can also do it. It's definitely more of a population sink, but definitely a very, very strong way to play. I'd love to see these players going for it. Normally people just go for catapult raids, but in my opinion, that's actually not the most... It's strong, don't get me wrong, but it's not like the most strong thing you can do. As the Arcus trying to come through, trying to pick off those priests here, but good micro thus far. Just not enough siege here to take this one down, and that Pharaoh on the back here is doing a lot of good damage. Well, not damage, a lot of good repair. There's the Fire Siphon still trying to come in here, seeing what they can do. Mechanics push it around. He has his one town center back, as he basically probably should be saying, you know what? Give me another town center, Serpent. Give us another town center. I mean, it's not that important. It's basically just going to go into economy, right? So I guess if there's 20 trade caravans, it's totally fine. And he's distributing gold. Meanwhile, Ragnarok does get set up on this position with some Petropolis behind the forest with some walls, towers up. Socrates is in a really, really bad position now. We'll see how he's going to go. The Pharaoh is coming through. We definitely do need an answer for that one. The answer, the good thing is there is a great answer in Zeus against the Pharaoh, and that is the Bellerophon. It can be really, really tough to out-micro that Bellerophon jumping in. Because you have to like time the jump and the garrison, all the other good stuff. But even with this repairing going on, it still looks like the town center is going down, and Socrates does utilize shifting sands onto the catapult there, and they're going to get brought into this position, and that's going to keep the town center alive for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Serpent, he does break down this town center here. And he's going to be pushing Guizen and Illuminati back as Mechanics is still pushing in onto the corners or the circumference. Is that the right word? Circumference of this circle, of this ghost lake. The shore of this ghost lake. He's pushing in nicely. He just needs to get some towers set up, but Illuminati is defending nicely here. Over here we do see a little bit of an interesting side as both players are just happily sharing a gold mine on this position. As the Metropolis come back in. 18 villagers repairing this fortified town center. You have to hit that pharaoh, otherwise the town center does not go down. Look at how many Metropolis are here. If he just hits the pharaoh once, that town center goes down like immediately. Just once. Just once. Just hit it once. Even with a catapult. You can also use a catapult to hit the pharaoh. Big brain. You gotta have a big brain if you want to have a brain. Meanwhile, over here we do see Mechanics pushing in. Oh. Villagers getting sniped over here. Nice play. Meanwhile, what is this? Oh, that's a mining camp. Never mind. Oh. Bellerophon coming for the win. Oh, he misses! But the town center goes down? Basically. It's close! It's close! It's almost down! But all the Metropolis get killed off. A clutch defense here from Socrates. Illuminati asks if he's on 4k wood. He is on 92 wood. It's a little bit of a difference between those two numbers. As Guizen still getting pushed through. No. He didn't need 20 Metropolis. He just needed one Metropolis to click onto the pharaoh. That's it. Just one. I'm glad I watched this game because I don't think I would think about that in the game. Scientists wondering how Egyptians built the pyramids. Answer is simple. Pharaoh in power. Very true, Mr. Yellow Snowcone. Alright. Serpent pushing through. I think there's still a vortex here, so the Titan that's coming for Illuminati cannot be clicked down. Otherwise, he will instantly lose said Titan. And Guizen over here is not going to be able to defend this one. You know, it's an interesting argument. Is this fair or is it not? I mean, at this point, you have to ask yourself, what realistically can Socrates even do to push into this army? He can't really do anything. There's not even towers here, and he's not able to break through. So is it not fair that he just says, you know what? You can't kill me, I can't kill you. But that being said, if you just use the Metropolis to hit the Pharaoh, it's all good. Do you see a Titan Gate coming up here for Snake? An interesting position on the Titan Gate. Only 3 villagers building it up. Going to be a little bit of a slow time there. As you do see the Titan Gate up onto this position. Will Snake and the gang push up here and try and get some line of sight there or not? Is the big question. Or does he not care? I imagine he's got Vortex, so he should. He should care. There's a guard tower getting taken down over here. This town center of Illuminati will be going down at some point here. We see more mummies coming out for Illuminati to try and defend. I'm still surprised to see no attempt at getting in here, as we see some walls coming up and the Hearser coming through as Mechanics is sacking some Hearser to get some line of sight onto this position to prevent the Titan Gate from going up. Can they pick this one off or not? 1, 2, 3 fire siphons falling from the sky here as Illuminati's Titan Gate is going to be going down very, very fast. In that moment there, Guizan says, that's game. GG. Well played. And the rest of his team follows suit in commendable fashion. An incredibly well played game here from the non-Ra players, as the Ra players didn't really have too much of a plan here coming in to this game. We didn't really see Guizan go for a one town center. I said he was doing the right play for going for one town center. He got denied his second town center and then fell back on one town center. When you've got such a huge economic boost, it would make a lot of sense to be going for timing attacks here or of some variety and trying to spend that early food much, much better. And it would have actually absolutely demolished that sort of a two-town center play from Ragnarok's as well, considering he also went Athena in this game. Anyways, a fantastic game here. Team games back on the chopping board, it seems. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next game.